Alright, hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Happy versus 120, taking place here on Concealed Hill. Over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have 120 spawning as the red undead. Meanwhile, over here on the top right, we have Happy spawning as the blue undead. So this is going to be undead versus undead in this mirror match. And I do like mirror matches just because you really start to see how the players deviate from each other in their timings and their build orders. Ultra of Darkness, Ziggurat Crypt. The Ultra of Darkness was earlier. The Ziggurat seems to be a little bit later than this one here, and that is going to delay the hero of choice. Now, with that said, it already looks like it is going to be slightly different heroes. Lich is very common as well, but also the Dreadlord opening has become very popular, as Dreadlord first allows you solo Dreadlord to perhaps summon an Infernal. Also, it allows for good fast expansions as you're able to sleep the Null Overseer or the main primary unit that deals the majority of damage, and then it's almost easy to pick off the remaining units here. We'll see what is going to come of this. As you can take a look, Death Knight is already being trained up, Graveyard is being added in, Crypt, there is that Tomb of Relics. Meanwhile, we are looking at a Dreadlord coming in from 120. Alright, with that said, Tomb of Relics is getting placed down. Ultra of Darkness with that Dreadlord normally means that you're going to be selling that Scroll of Town Portal, getting the Rod of Necromancy, and that Essence, or that Sacrificial Skull for, well, to be able to summon Blight. Now, the Acolyte here from Happy should be able to look around and notice that the timing on that Tomb of Relics is a little bit further behind. With that, even though he can't actually click on this Altar of Darkness to know when what hero is getting added in, he knows that something is a little bit not quite right. Now, Acolytes will be moving back here. You can take a look at this red and blue chasing each other, as we are going to see this one, frog get taken down, and that is going to be for a Rod of Necromancy for those skeletal minions. The Death Knight, on the other hand, perhaps suspects that something is already up and wants to try and disrupt that as much as possible, leaving an Acolyte down here to keep track of all of this action, as we see a whole bunch of ghouls now coming across to surround and take down this Acolyte. Meanwhile, what does this mean? The Death Knight is going to be making its way across. It knows the timing. It's going to go ahead and have 4 skeletal minions, 2 ghouls, to place pressure on this Dreadlord who wants to take out this, expansion location and perhaps do a bit of fast expanding. Death Coil coming in from Happy, stealing that first bit of experience there. That is important. Ziggurat has been placed down, but the problem right now is that there is just so many units out onto the field that even if the units do all retreat back, this blue army is going to push back this red. The creeps may start to aggro against the Ziggurat too. Going to continue to engage here once more. Dreadlord now looking to back up. Null Overseer now coming back. Now going to start to engage on the Ziggurat itself, and it is going to be forced to be cancelled. Death Knight now making its rounds again, continuing that fight. Are we going to get a surround? It doesn't look like it, as there are a number of blue units allowing for a potential escape in order to get away. Units are still trying to head back once more. One red Acolyte right there. More Rod of Necromancy units still coming across here, as we could be trying to get up another, perhaps a Ziggurat, in order to get this Essence of Blight. No, it looks like they are not going to be sticking around for far too long. And the Death Knight here, Happy, is staying with a 20/20 supply army, able to shut down his opponent from being able to fast expand, and really hasn't lost anything as of yet. Finally, into 20/30, we are going into tier 2 already. Meanwhile, still staying at tier 1, as it looks like we are trying to be going into an expansion again. Now making its way back off to the north, Dreadlord swinging back off, and I think I realized what causes the animation problems. It is because there are no observers on this map, and turning off Fog of War kind of changes how all of the memory and how everything is loaded properly. As we're going to take a look, well, Dreadlord unable to finish off any of those ghouls there, as we may be going into a quick surround onto this giant sea turtle. Giant sea turtle will get taken down. Dreadlord, is it going to get the experience? No, it doesn't. It didn't look like it got the experience there. Perhaps the skeleton or another ghoul got it there. Did the Death Knight get more experience again? No, it doesn't look like it either. I'll have to go back and take a look at that. The Dreadlord is sitting at level 2 and has picked up Slippers of Agility and also has Vampiric Aura. Let's take a look at this. We are going to be going into a surround, but that ghoul is not going to be able to get away. Death Knight tried to launch a Death Coil, but even if it did, well, I believe it would have died anyways. Dreadlord now making its rounds back across over here. It looks as though it is going to be going after this difficult creep camp. No warding, going to get taken down. A Ziggurat could get canceled again. This could be a problem. Down to 13 hit points. I don't know if it was canceled in time. Dreadlord now going after some more units. Dreadlord does have Vampiric Aura, going to be able to regenerate quite a bit of hit points again as this Ziggurat is coming into play. Let's take a look. Death Knight now trying to head back. Crypt Fiend going after a ghoul. Ghoul going to end up, no, not get taken down, as we see a Crypt Fiend getting saved. But that means that this Null Overseer does die at the hands of the Dreadlord. Okay. Alright, Dreadlord now coming across, trying to shut down this Death Knight. Death Knight is going to, well, go ahead and teleport away as the ghoul is now heading back. We are going to be getting up that Ziggurat here as the Death Knight and Dark Ranger are continuing the fight. The Death Knight didn't use a Scroll of Town Portal, instead used a Staff of Teleportation to be able to regroup and break that surround. Nicely done. Meanwhile, is the Dreadlord actually going to, yes, get the denial onto that ghoul right there as the Death Knight, Crypt Fiends, and Dark Ranger look to continue to put more pressure once again. This Acolyte is going to try and run and hide. Haunted Goldmine down to 500 hit points and falling quickly as it doesn't have any armor. Is it going to get canceled? That is the key question there. However, at what is the cost going to be, as we're going to take a look. There's the cancellation once more. Dark Ranger could have a very, very bad day. Ghoul trying to get away down to 52, 24 hit points. Gets the Scroll of Town Portal, the Dark Ranger, as this ghoul trying to head back away as well. Let's take a look. More and more engaging once again, but the Scroll of Town Portal does pick up everyone and they leave.
Summoning is complete. Our forces are under attack.
Alright, coming back off to the north, Death Knight now gonna go after the giant sea turtles here, get a little bit more experience. Dark Ranger low on hit points, but still staying on Blight, will be regenerating some hit points. This Death Knight here still staying at level 1. Meanwhile, Dreadlord has gone for Vampiric Aura in order to get a little bit more a bounce in these swipes, so to speak, as the Dreadlord now finishing off this Ogre Magi here is sitting at level 3. And picks up a replenishment potion. Now, on Concealed Hill, there are a number of gold mines. There are your natural expansions, but there's also the center gold mine, which is strategically placed. If you take that center gold mine, you get a significant gold advantage. You're also closer to your opponent. And if your opponent wants gold, they actually have to combat you there. It is an odd number of gold mines on this map, making it so that, well, if you really want those resources, you really need to fight for them, as we're going to take a look. Ghouls going after the rock golems here and trying to take down more units. Meanwhile, back across over here, Death Knight, Dark Ranger continuing to fight. Obsidian statues already out for Happy, as this Crypt Fiend, Death Knight, Dark Ranger army is rather powerful. We are going into tier 3. We are getting more obsidian statues, and with that said, there is also an additional necropolis as well, which does make me scratch my head a little bit. I didn't notice that. What is the purpose of that extra necropolis there? Anyways, Death Knight now making its way back off to the north. It could be for additional supply if because lumber is used a little bit differently. Crypt Fiend now going to try and engage here. And these Crypt Fiends really just going to eat into all of these ghouls here. Meanwhile, one Dreadlord actually baiting his opponent, trying to get away, and will be able to do that. Meanwhile, off to the north here, you can see that an Acropolis and an expansion is coming in from Happy as well. Happy with an expansion of his own, and this is going to be set up without any real pressure or harassment coming in from 120. And well, Happy is going to be able to even up this economic state faster than, well, the amount of time that 120 tried to establish that. However, what is 120 going to do instead? He's going to shift and transition back over, go after these creep camps, perhaps try and get to level 5 very, very quickly, and then force engagements to get to level 6. You're going to see low hit point Ghoul now backing away, and at this stage in the game, Happy, who is clearing out these relatively easy green creep camps with level 2 creeps, compared to his opponent who is clearing out level 6 and level 4 creep camps. Well, you don't have to be a math major to know who came out ahead there. Lich should be trained up. Yes, there it is. Let's take a look. Another engagement here. This army of mass ghouls is going to be a problem. Oh, Carrion Swarm now heading through, being able to do a lot of damage there. Meanwhile, how come I cannot... There we go. Move the map. Units now trying to make their way back. Another ghoul could get taken down to 32 hit points, but it ends up staying alive. Meanwhile, Skeletal Minion going after some of those obsidian statues, and it gets taken down as well. We are going to see an army of ghouls now make their way off to the north, perhaps try to take down these acolytes as they're mining, do a little bit of harassment, but with destroyers in the air, that is going to be a problem. Dreadlord now heading back the other way here. No, these ghouls now trying to head back. There is one destroyer that actually has mana. That could actually spell a very big problem. Let's take a look. 1 or 2 more shots should finish it off. Dark Ranger going to perhaps try to fire a black arrow to finish off some of those shots there, as that ghoul is going to get, well, taken down. It does get taken down. No skeletal minion given. Meanwhile, Dreadlord trying to head back. Let's take a look. A little bit of creeping away from the action as well. Dreadlord still sitting at level 4, going to finish off the remainder of these Murlocs, as the units in the center portion of the map, the Death Knight with Crypt Fiends going after this Ogre Lord now. Dark Ranger is off in this position. Dreadlord going to try and perhaps steal a little bit of that experience. Now trying to back away. Carrion Swarm eats through some of those Crypt Fiends as the units are now going back and forth. All right, Dreadlord has to be very careful. Is he going to be able to get back? Let's take a look at this. Able to slip away. Did lose a bit of armor. Now trying to head back down. Another shockwave coming through. Another Carrion Swarm as well. But with the destroyers now coming into play, well, does not want to really stay in this particular fight. Back off to the north here, Ziggurats completed. Acolytes fully saturating both gold mines here. Still about 10 minutes of mining left in the main bases. Gargoyles are now added in, as you see a second crypt being added in at the natural expansion too. Those gargoyles will be going after those destroyers, and gargoyles coupled with vampiric aura on the Dreadlord is a much more dangerous proposition. However, the Ogre Magi and guarding this Fountain of Health, if you're able to keep all of these Crypt Fiends and also these destroyers topped off on health, well, that is good in and of itself. Let's take a look. Those Crypt Fiends probably already have web. They will be able to web them down. Dark Ranger picking up a Tome of Intelligence as the battle is still raging on. Happy seeing that 62 compared to 59. All right, a handful of additional units are going to get taken out. What is the Dreadlord and 120 going to do at this stage? He is purposely going to make a move over here at the Red Drake 2. He knew that he couldn't challenge his opponent, so the most he can do is just try to neutralize the effect that, or the bonus that his opponent got by taking out an expansion of his own. That Red Drake pretty much taken down in record time there. As you can see, Dreadlord perhaps trying to get to level 5. There is a Dust of Appearance quickly being used, and now he picks up a Robe of Magi, increasing his mana up to 570. Vampiric Aura working its magic as well. Meanwhile, let's take a look at this. Tome of Agility is down over here. Dreadlord or Gargoyle trying to finish off some of those units. Let's take a look. Frost Nova followed by Web. Carrion Swarm. Gargoyles are still trying to chase after those destroyers. Destroyers are able to head all the way back, and now you see a line of units just going every which way. All right, Crypt Fiend's now trying to head back as well. Carrion Swarm eats down one, as you see another Crypt Fiend getting taken down. Scroll of Town Portal quickly being used in order to get away. And 120, definitely the victor in that fight. Dreadlord sitting at level 5. Let's take a look. He could probably pick up that Tome of Agility. No reason not to. Additional armor getting up to 5.6. As we are taking a look at who is going to be taking this center expansion. Lich is out on the field. Medallion of Courage coupled with an Orb of Corruption. Powerful indeed, and still Happy clearing out some relatively easy creep camps. The majority of the creep camps have already been cleared out though, so it's not like he can easily try and hunt for large amounts of experience. And on top of that, his Dreadlord is in fact level 5. Level 5 Dreadlord, well, any level 5 hero cannot gain enough experience to get to level 6 from creeps. You have to force engagements. And right now, the army of Happy with that Lich, the Destroyers, is just so powerful. As we're going to take a look, Gargoyle is going straight after that, well, Ziggurat right there, Carrion Swarm eating through. And that was actually extremely powerful there, as all of those units did end up going down. Dreadlord with an Orb of Corruption trying to finish off more units. Let's take a look at this, trying to continue to focus down more units. Again, another Carrion Swarm, only to be countered by the Lich's Frost Nova. All right, we should be looking at perhaps some sort of Scroll of Healing. Dreadlord continuing that pressure, continuing that push here as the Gargoyles and all of these units are trying to retreat back. One Gargoyle getting left behind and taken out. Let's take a look back across here. Acolyte's going to get taken out, and Dreadlord sitting at level 5. Does he have enough mana? No, he does not. Going to turn back around. Let's take a look. Carrion Swarm pushing through again. Gargoyle is trying to get there. That Lich purposely backing up. There's a low hit point Obsidian Statue that is ripe for the picking, but it is not yet getting focused down for some strange reason. Frost Nova getting taken down again. Level 6 now on the Dreadlord. You could call down a Infernal and then all of a sudden get a big stun across multiple units, but not hitting those Crypt Fiends in the back. All right, a couple of low hit point Gargoyles still need to get away. Will they be able to retreat back in time? And an Infernal could probably hold that line right there, as a number of units don't want to stand right next to it. All right, Infernal now looking to back away. Let's take a look. Dreadlord trying to finish off some units. Staff of Teleportation. The Infernal will most likely just end up being left behind. It is trying to finish off some units. Could easily take down that Obsidian Statue in its attempt, but no, now trying to run back as well. That Infernal, is it dealing damage to that Death Knight? No, not yet quite close enough, as we're looking at an expansion in the center portion of the map. Blight has been placed down, but there's only one Acolyte there. We'll see how long this is going to be held. All right, Gargoyles, Ghouls, all hanging around by that Fountain of Health. They're going to try and engage here in just a moment. Dreadlord, Infernal, going to be making its way back over. Let's take a look at this. Anti-Magic Shell being cast across all over the place, as you'll see a big Frost Nova. Anti-Magic Shell being there to counteract that, well, Carrion Swarm that the Dreadlord has been consistently casting. All right, mass Gargoyles to try to finish off, and there goes another Destroyer there, as another Carrion Swarm is just eating through so many units. Dreadlord still has a good amount of mana. Will he be able to throw down another Carrion Swarm? As you can take a look, Gargoyles trying to finish off the Lich, but a Scroll of Town Portal used in time, as the fighting and engaging still getting underway. All right, low hit point Gargoyle. It is trying to get back. It will be able to get back here in just a moment. Meanwhile, let's take a look. Are we going to perhaps get a Potion of Mana? No, a Scroll of Healing to perhaps counteract that Frost Nova. Now, if the Lich had actually gone first, that Lich with that Frost Nova first does in fact deal a lot of damage to these Gargoyles, who have been, well, just been clumping up together. You've been seeing all of these Gargoyles with slow movement, as the Infernal now trying to head back, perhaps trying to run away. Dreadlord sitting at level 6, and let's take a look. It is going to lure his opponent into this engagement here, and all of a sudden the Gargoyles are just diving on in. There in comes the Gargoyles. It is their piercing damage, 20 to 29, just going after all of these units. Perhaps the Obsidian Statues will fall, and the Obsidian Statues are really the primary targets. Those are the expensive units that actually take the majority of the damage, and 2 Obsidian Statues fall right there. 66 compared to 54. Gargoyle is now going after an additional Obsidian Statue, now backing away, perhaps trying to find some additional targets as well. Let's take a look at this. One round of volleys. Are those Crypt Fiends going to die as another Obsidian Statue gets taken down? The Dreadlord is now sitting at level 7, as the fighting is still getting underway, but the Lich with those Dark Rituals getting additional mana, that is going to be an issue, as the Dark Ranger and Lich work so well together. All right, Dreadlord is hanging over here by the Fountain of Health and says, do you want to engage me? And there's a big resounding no right there, instead chasing down a handful of ghouls, but those ghouls also have Ghoul Frenzy. One Ziggurat with slow, the Rubian Tower now trying to get added. More skeletal minions. These are just dark minions right there. Meanwhile, engagement, there is the stun, and what is going to go on? Banshee quickly getting taken down. Let's take a look. More damage getting through, as we're going to see another Gargoyle getting taken down right there. Lich goes for a Dark Ritual. There's the Frost Nova following it up. Is going to be able to finish off any more units as they're trying to go after those Banshees and those other units that are actually taking full damage or even bonus damage from the piercing of those gargoyles. Still fighting their way through. The Crypt Fiends are priority targets. Death Coil not in time, as it was just a split second late. Meanwhile, one Nerubian Tower going to finish off all of those Dark Minions right there. Infernal hanging around by this Fountain of Health. So is that Dreadlord, and that, well, the Dreadlord perhaps wishing that there was a bit more mana to be had. The Dark Minion going to get taken down. You can see the Infernal with that 1,500 hit points. Just so high on damage. As we're going to take a look at another big fight right there. Web being cast once again, trying to chase away all of those units. Lich now sitting at level 4. Perhaps level 2 Dark Ritual will turn into even more mana, and more mana means more Frost Novas. Dreadlord now trying to head back again, and that Lich has really been the MVP of this fight for Happy's army. Anytime there is a Frost Nova, you can see the high movement speed and the high response time of those gargoyles just getting absolutely slowed down for a split second. All right, more engaging here. Acolytes trying to mine away. I believe the main gold mines are nearly mined out. No, already transitioned back off to the north here. Anti-Magic Shell, Dreadlord unable to do any carry-on swarm. As you can see, so much anti-magic shell making it pretty much ineffective, well, against anything that has it. However, that obsidian statue extremely low, but able to get away at 58 hit points. Now backing away once more. Infernal could try and make its way once again. You can take a look, a number of slow towers as well. The Infernal is still dealing damage just by standing next to him, and that could continue to add more and more. Are we going to see the Dreadlord perhaps try and get some damage? And there is another carry-on swarm eating through another obsidian statue there. Death Knight, level 1 Death Knight now out onto the field. Gargoyles say, you know what, I don't have to fight where you are. I can just be absolutely somewhere else. And that is what it's going to be. Acolytes going to fall. One Acolyte already down. Second Acolyte could be down. Lich, big Frost Nova right there. Death Knight, Scroll of Healing. And all of a sudden the Lich says, you know what, I didn't want to be here. Why did I teleport back early? The Scroll of Healing from the Death Knight having a big impact once more, as you can see. And the Dreadlord perhaps should be picking up that second Scroll of Healing to reduce the cooldown. More fighting getting underway. Lich down to 229 hit points. Is going to be able to get away there. Anti-Magic Shell once more. Dreadlord has enough mana for a carry-on swarm. Hasn't cast it. And I think he actually switched onto the wrong targets there. And that may be the beginning of the end for 120. All right, Dreadlord now trying to head back, losing a lot of hit points. Let's take a look at what's going to be happening here. He is going to be trying to regenerate and fight his way out of this, well, unfavorable location. He does have the Fountain of Health. Let's take a look, continuing to fight as well. He is low on hit points, backing himself into his corner. Staff of Teleportation in order to get away. Meanwhile, mining still going on here. No mining here. Some mining here. And, well, this base is about to be mined up too. Death Knight healing back up 40 over 60. This is not looking good whatsoever. Unsummoning of the center location now. Dreadlord is in a bit of trouble. He is back on Blight. He is healing up once again. But what can he really do at this point? The ultimate ability is a level 8 Dreadlord going to be enough to overcome a 13 supply difference. All right, Acolyte now trying to retreat back. This gold mine done being, not being mined any longer. And even though 120 has mined more gold, he is still behind at this stage. Dreadlord sitting at level 8. Meanwhile, Death Knight sitting at level 1, I still believe. Yes, still sitting at level 1. Gonna pick up some items there and now perhaps move on out. Need to figure out a way to heal. He is still down by a good amount of gold, but there is that catch-up mechanic since he is not currently getting taxed. All right, let's take a look. Where is that next engagement going to be? The carry-on swarm getting completely counteracted by the anti-magic shell of these banshees in the back. There are also 3 obsidian statues. Carry-on swarm catches and snipes down one, and the Dreadlord just has to laugh there, saying, you know what, I can do this all day, as the obsidian statue in the back finally says, you know what, maybe I should have a little bit more action going on here. All right, Ghoul is now trying to head back here. There is Blight. Are they going to be able to head back here? And they're going to try to hide in the very far corner, able to do exactly that. Anti-magic shell protecting from the Dreadlord. Meanwhile, let's take a look. What is that Dreadlord doing? Anti-magic shell, all of this coming across here. There is one obsidian statue, Death Knight. All of these units still hiding their way through. and really no easy engagement whatsoever. Meanwhile, gargoyles are doing split-pronged attacks onto the haunted gold mine in the top portion of the map. Both sides now sitting in low upkeep, as those gargoyles are just going to be playing an annoying game, trying to constantly split the army. All right, Acolytes taking a fair bit of damage, now going to be backed off again. Let's take a look. Another Acolyte could end up getting taken down. One Spirit Tower is in position, as we're going to take a look. Well, Dreadlord, Acolytes here all getting finished off. This one Dreadlord has just sniped down pretty much all of those units, and now says, you know what, I know you had 5 Acolytes here ready to go. That's not going to happen, though. All right, Dreadlord now making its way back across here. Acolytes going after some of those units. You can see a Crypt Fiend going to perhaps try and web down that Gargoyle and take him out. Dreadlord is in position. What is happening here? Is this one Gargoyle going to get taken out? He is on Blight. That is the reason why he is still able to stay alive, as the Crypt Fiend able to web him down once again. All right, let's take a look. Dreadlord, Carrion Swarm, Acolyte, there it goes, taking it down and sniping down. That is a shade. Sniping down Acolytes who are just trying to get to work. All right, let's take a look. We are still, economically speaking, ahead for 120. Happy is behind because he is getting taxed. Meanwhile, the Dreadlord, with the effective use of Carrion Swarm, it has been able to slowly eat away at units once again. Meanwhile, these gargoyles are still healing back over here at the Fountain of Health. Are they going to try and engage? 50 compared to 64 supply. Here's an engagement in the base. Death Knight is nearby. Ghouls are going to get trained up here in just a moment. There is a shade as well. Carrion Swarm trying to eat through, but you can take a look at that. The Crypt Fiends are really not in danger at all. No abominations whatsoever. Death Knight getting a Death Coil onto the Dreadlord. Dreadlord perhaps should be trying to summon down an Infernal here in just a moment. Meanwhile, the Gargoyles are not going to be able to do very much against this Crypt Fiend army. 65 supply compared to 69. Let's take a look. Dreadlord is just coming across here. There's a Carrion Swarm trying to eat through some more units. Does get a little bit of damage in, as the Dreadlord is still sitting at a good amount of mana with 1 Obsidian statue in the back. All right, or 2 Obsidian statues. Thank you, Arya. All right, let's take a look back over here. My co-caster is trying to correct me. All right, Obsidian statue still hiding in the back here. Let's take a look. 70 supply compared to 69. Unhaunted gold mine now getting underway. Gargoyles making their way over, perhaps trying to finish off those Acolytes there. Little bit of split prong attack heading every which way. Anti-magic shell and Obsidian statue has been doing so much, as you're going to see the Dreadlord perhaps try and chase in, get a Carrion Swarm, and snipe down another Obsidian statue. All right, that's been the name of the game. Carrion Swarm taking down Obsidian statue after Obsidian statue, and more mana getting added in, up to 328. Once again, needs to buy perhaps another potion of mana. Is it going to be able to do anything there? There's the Carrion Swarm, but it was unable to finish off any of the Banshees or any of the units in the back, as the Altar of Darkness may end up falling. Acolytes, nope, no gargoyles there either. There goes the Altar of Darkness, as this crypt may get taken down. All right, Dreadlord trying to get into position. Let's take a look. Units are all in the back trying to hide every which way, and one meat wagon or one form of damage that is good against building could change everything. 79 supply compared to 76, and I think this army is now rather large enough to try and put down that pressure. There's a Carrion Swarm. It's going to eat through some of those anti-magic shell, but it's not going to be lasting very long, as the Black Citadel is underway. All right, there is the Infernal getting called down, summoned down. Banshees now trying to engage. You can take a look. So much damage. Mass Ghoul army 2-0 upgrades chasing after all of those units there. All right, Carrion Swarm could be coming online again. Destroyers are in the air. Anti-magic shell could be eaten, as the Destroyer does get webbed back down. Death Knight does have Death Coil. There's a Carrion Swarm trying to eat through again, and it does break it, as we're seeing more damage come back. 71 supply compared to 76. Who's going to come out on top, as the Dreadlord unable to chase back the remaining units, as the Dreadlord now trying to pull back again. Couple of Gargoyles will be forced to hold their position. 71 supply compared to 79. Infernal, well, could try and engage. Let's take a look at this. Dreadlord is in position. Carrion Swarm eating through many of those units once again, as the Infernal is now chasing through once more. Let's take a look. Is that Dreadlord going to be able to do anything? He still has a potion of invulnerability here, ready to go. Gargoyles and Ghouls are fighting their way out. 79 compared to 68. Happy is slightly ahead here. Death Knight has a Scroll of Town Portal just in case things do go bad. Silence getting cast onto the Death Knight there, as we're still fighting our way through. Dreadlord out of mana. Obsidian statue trying to get that mana back on in. You can see see a lot of low hit point units, but the Dreadlord is officially out of mana as the Death Knight now gets up to level 3. Infernal still pushing, still getting in a lot of damage as the Lich down to, 137 hit points somehow survives. More fighting, more units getting underway. Dreadlord still sitting at level 8. Carrion Swarm perhaps could snipe down many of those units in the back. The Obsidian statues are just too far to give that Dreadlord mana. All right. This is going to be the key problem here. Dreadlord going to use another potion of mana here, perhaps trying to go ahead and snipe their way over and through. Let's take a look if he can take down one or two of these Obsidian statues. That would pretty much be the game, as this gold mine is now done. All right, what you see is what you get coming in from 120's army. Happy has a significant advantage now, a 15 supply advantage over his opponent. But does he have enough to really finish it off? Death Knight, Death Coil, Lich still staying alive. Level 8 Dreadlord not able to hold on to this game long enough. Infernal is pushing its way through. Is it going to be able to deal all of that damage? The anti-magic shell, so many units just not taking damage because of anti-magic shell. Dreadlord waiting perhaps to try and finish some more. Are we going to get some Devour Magic to eat up some of that anti-magic shell as well? That is the question, as the, Obsidian statue in the backs are now getting just eaten alive by that Dreadlord. The Dreadlord is attacking them pretty freely. It does have, yes, a potion of invulnerability, and that may be enough to perhaps focus down another unit or two as the units are now trying to get away. There goes another Carrion Swarm. 36 supply compared to 72, though, as Happy looks like he is going to be able to take this game. 120 is in serious trouble. Death Knight is now retreating. He's going to get taken down. There he goes. And with that, the support hero gone, Happy is going to take the game. Yep, Happy is Necropolis Rush. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.